It's the Slam Dunk.
I think this is a cry for help. Well, certainly I'm seeking out other parents to make sure I'm not the only one who's going through this and the only one who's noticed. But my son, along with his mates, appear increasingly addicted to their phones. And I'm at a loss as to how I win this battle. I wonder if you're with me on this. I reckon this is reaching stupid and epidemic type levels of usage and connection, and their addiction, which is what it is, they form a bond with their phone. And, you know, if you mention time without it, the shit hits the fan, they can't cope. Here are my basic questions. What on earth is so important on this phone? This is for all teenagers. What exactly are you doing on it? And why can't you hear when adults talk to you anymore? What's going on? Why can't you eat a meal and talk to the person next to you, opposite you, rather than have your phone at the table? Why do you have to look at your phone while shoveling food into your gob? Why, when you have four mates in the car, are you all on your phones rather than talking face to face? What's wrong with you all? Why did one boy not look up once across a 20-kilometre stretch of new road when I told him 5 times this was a new motorway, he should look out the window, it's worth a look? He didn't once look up. Why do you all hop in the car and forget to address the adult, usually a parent, and go directly on your phone? What's so important? Are you saving the world? Why do you exit the car with the phone in your hand as you watch the phone and forget to say goodbye? Why can't you ride a bike without the phone in your hand? I mean, I don't know if anyone else is suffering these sorts of issues as well. I bet you are. Why do you still do it after I tell you it's dangerous to ride with the phone in your hand? Why are you checking your phone 30 times a day? I mean, are you Bill Gates? Are you busy? What are you learning? Are you aware of the risk of sending silly pictures? And are you aware that they stay on the internet forever? And a future boss might see it and not give you a job. Are you aware of your average daily screen time? So the last time I looked at all you boys that I'm talking about in my world, you average anywhere between 3 and 7 hours a day for a daily limit. Now, the daily recommended limit on average in New Zealand and around the world is about 2 hours. Don't need more than 2 hours. Some of you are doing 3 times that a day, 3 times what's recommended. And this can lead to really bad outcomes. All the research has been done. Headaches, obesity, diabetes, bad eyesight, and generally just antisocial and morbid. Some of you could be doing 50 hours a week on your phones and just about 2 or 3 hours exercise. 50 hours on a phone, 3 hours exercise. None of your group could mow the lawns recently without needing to return to your phones. Some of you are absolutely pathetic and couldn't do one strip. You take it off you and you guys panic. This is now an addiction, I reckon, that needs to go into some sort of addiction list. And it needs an army of people to treat it. Because I think you're all sick. 50 hours on a device in 1 week, 3 hours on the sports field and 25 hours in the classroom. What's wrong with that? Everything. Something is wrong when you're doing 50 hours on a phone, twice the number of hours that you're doing in a classroom. If you want to make the top basketball, rugby and soccer sides in your school, then those stats have to be turned around quick smart. You won't make the top basketball team by sitting on your phone for 50 hours, but you might make the top basketball team if you get on the basketball court for 25 hours. Far too much of your time is wasted in this vegetative state, scrolling crap, when you could be sharpening the edges of your basketball form. Or doing better in rugby, or whatever you do. Or doing better in class. Do I sound old? Or do I sound right? It's true for your sleep patterns as well. You guys aren't sleeping well enough because you're on your devices. It keeps your mind busy. Too much device, not enough commitment to what really matters. Do I sound really old now? I hope so. Because this matters. The pandemic, COVID, has fundamentally, I think, altered every part of our lives. But not least the time that we spend on digital devices. It's completely changed the world. That's why we're podcasting on radio. For young people in particular, it's changed. There's the blurred line now, I believe, between recreational, educational, screen time. So you're not sure what's what anymore. It presents massive new challenges that we're only really seeing now. We're only really beginning to understand this stuff now and appreciate. So we're going through this massive societal change, this digital era, digital change, that in 100 years' time we'll look back and go, oh, that was then. And even before COVID, there were concerns about screen time for children. This 2019-2020 survey found 4 in 5 children were exceeding the current daily limits, okay, the ministry limits, basically, of 2 hours a day. 4 in 5. And that was 4 years ago. Guess what it is now after COVID? It's all of them. All of them are exceeding daily limits. What's the point of even having daily limits? Luxon can sack that person now because no one listened. This was on, this is on top of the screen time when you're actually learning in classrooms. So with lockdowns and social restrictions now over, it's increasingly worse. It's difficult to disengage from now because you've had all these years where you've engaged with it and you can't come off it. You're addicted. Children are growing up in this digital society surrounded by a multitude of devices used for everything from basically social connection to learning, and the learning stuff's really important, and entertainment. I know it's a digital world that we live in and you have to be on these things, but 50 hours a week? You guys are nuts. The boundaries between recreation, communication and learning are becoming less distinct or obvious. Screen time that may seem on the surface really to be purely recreational can in reality be important for life things and for learning stuff. So it's all a bit blurred, and all that sort of stuff can also support your mental health and driving awareness of mental health and, important health and well-being. So you need social media for that too, all those important issues. But, I'm going to pinch a line from a famous song. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Human contact and physical contact and physical activity is crucial. To sweat, to run, to put your phone down, knowing how to behave around others is vital. Addressing people by their name, looking them in the eye. I know it's a bit like sitting and having dinner at the table. You're an old-fashioned bastard, Duncan, shut the fuck up. Well, I think we've reached epidemic levels and nothing appears to be able to slow this slowly creeping disease on this human rot that's going on. Get to bed without these phones in your hand. I reckon these phones have become so connected to you that you throw it away and it's still stuck to your hand. Do more than 2 hours a day online and your life will be less enjoyable. And potentially shorter is what they say. So do the right things, and you know what the right things are. But I don't reckon kids today can. Don't dismiss this as Buster's dad talking shit. Okay? This is heavily researched with the very latest of information. This is what the experts say. So basically, ignore it at your peril. Good luck out there.